Right. Okay, evening everyone. I shall crack on as it's a very long agenda and I know we don't want to be here longer than we need to be. So we've had apologies for absence from...
Yes, I've had apologies from Councillor Glenn and Councillor Sparks.
So I assume we're happy to accept those. There's also now the declarations of interest, so anyone who needs to declare any disposable pecuniary interests or any other interests.
My wife is a member of the Anvil Call Society, and I should declare another interest in her.
Okay. We've got no members of the public, and I assume we've had no considerations, progress for consideration now. So next then is the minutes of the previous meetings. The agenda had the dates wrong, I'm afraid, so we'll just correct that on the... well, no, we don't want to... It's correct in the minutes, but it's the meeting of the 11th of December, which was in your pack. Hope you've had a chance to have a look at those. Are there any questions arising from those? No? Is someone ready to propose those? Thank you. Councillor Robinson, second them. Councillor Stagg, in favour?
Wasn't there.
So 3 okay, so 3 and 1 abstention. So, received balance sheet, budget account, hub trading account for January 2019. I suppose I look to the Finance Officer to highlight anything that we think should be brought to our attention.
The main thing was the hub trading, which obviously hasn't made as much money this month as we wanted to, due to a number of issues, due to a number of things, one of which was number of staff being off sick. Because they're off sick, they have to employ someone else to go away. And of course, there's in January, it's a bit slow starting, so it doesn't look as good as it should be. That's the main thing that I thought everyone would have.
Has anyone got any questions or?
Well, I must admit, I went into the hub myself, partially because of the role I play with the estates. And looking, we're getting towards the year end of how it's doing. I mean, the good news for me is against our budget, we're about £14,000 better than budget. But the budget was a £27,000 loss, so it's like in one statement, it sounds good. The bit of concern I think we've still got is, what the long term for the hub is, and really want to, put this thing over to yourselves and the staff to look after it rather than councillors be involved with it. But I do, I've been playing with graphs, and one interesting one leapt out of the page at me, and it was the relationship with staff costs and profits. And when we look at this particular graph here, it shows that there's virtually no relationship with income and expenses. The food we were buying didn't seem to have a relationship, but that big one was. When their staff costs go up, the profits go through the floor.
Yeah.
So I think we know, we know where the hub is trading, and we either need to get the prices up or get the staff down to that level. But we can talk to this later on.
Well, I think the other thing we've flagged before, which I think is still equally valid, is that we know we've got these 2 difficult months, don't we? We've got August and we've got sort of the Christmas New Year period. And I know we're talking about January now, but some of it is a hangover into January, isn't it, because of Christmas, New Year?
Well, December we're only over for 20 days after the 30th.
Yeah. So it's whether we can come up with some more imaginative ways of increasing revenue during those difficult weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, go on.
How are we actually going to do that? What's the mechanism for coming up with a plan to increase sales or manage it in whatever way?
My view is the mechanism is to hand it over to the staff to manage, and we monitor them. We don't make decisions in this room. So we've had conversations in this room about the price of a cup of coffee. We should not be doing that in here.
No, but we should also be trying to provide some help as well, though. I think certainly in terms of maybe marketing ideas or additional revenue streams. Should we try and really push the venue as a venue for Christmas parties for local businesses? You know, would that we'd probably still be shut down over Christmas and New Year, but could we really make some hay in the first 3 weeks of the month? This is probably not the time to be doing it, but I mean, it's partly estates, isn't it, and partly just.
We do have a large marketing budget,
Yeah.
which we don't spend anything on, and that might reflect. Remember Peter Peel saying that if we have a £15,000 marketing budget, it's all very well, but you expect £60,000 back.
Yeah.
You've got a £15,000 marketing budget, you haven't spent anything.
Yeah.
But it was always felt that we couldn't market it because we shouldn't be competing with the other cafes in town.
Why
But I don't see why that is a problem.
Okay, so can I just blow that up a bit?
Oh, right.
Before we opened the hub, we went to every pub and every cafe in town and said, do you want to run this place? And none of them said yes or even showed any interest at all. So we're well aware that, we get some stick as a council for competing. They didn't want to know, so fair game as far as I'm concerned.
Malton Parish Council, and Paul and I are going on a course there, end of February, I think. Have you been to Malton?
No.
Has anybody? They've got a nice community centre, new one. They've got their library in it, but they've got a cafe and when we go, it's almost like ours. It's in a sort of foyer area. Have you been?
No.
But the council doesn't run it themselves. They've got somebody in there that's running it. But I'm going to have a word with the clerk then and just see exactly how it works, how much they charge. Are the people making money from it? How come they're making money and we're not, sort of thing. But just to see if we can get some ideas from them.
So is it down to us to market?
So can we market our and advertise it in the town?
As far as I'm concerned, the more the better. I pass down the end of this road regularly, Platform Road. I don't see an able there.
Well, yeah, that sort of thing we'd love to do, but we were always told that we shouldn't be seen to be competing.
Who told us that?
I think the difficulty was this. The council estate is quite right. The initial business model, if you like, for this building didn't have the council running that, and it was very much even if we have to, because at the moment we're not getting any interest, we very much hope that sooner rather than later somebody will want to take it over, so it could be sort of franchised out. But then, of course, it wasn't demonstrating that it was going to be an asset to another business, so we haven't had the interest. The difficulty was always the fear that we'd upset the business community if they thought we were subsidising a loss-making venture that was competing with them and actually taking their business away. But I think, frankly, the thing has now been running for a sufficient length of time that as long as we are sensible about it, and we are now moving it towards a situation in which it is getting closer to a break-even point, that I think it is justifiable to start marketing the thing in a commercial way. The Mayor's quite right. And things like trying to get local businesses to use it for mini conferences or a Christmas party or whatever else it is I think exactly the sort of thing we should now be doing. Now, as to whether that's managed ideally from the office or elsewhere, in the absence of there being a particular councillor with a bent for that sort of thing and keen to do it, I think it does need to be done in the office using the mechanism of these meetings to report back to us.
I think the hub, the rooms in Fenton, the Queen Victoria Hall are all inextricably linked in terms of marketing. And I think that there is a marketing unit.
Yep.
My own view is they should be looking at the hub as part of those three.
Yep.
I also think that it's not up to councillors to run it. When I was called onto the council, I remember sitting in a meeting and wondering why we were talking about how many pieces of cake we've got left at the end of the week.
Yes.
So,
We've moved on then, have we?
Yeah.
so for me, it's someone on our staff who runs it, but with assistance, mentoring, oversight, call it what you will, with a councillor or 2 or 3, whatever is decided.
Well, we've only recently realigned the marketing bit into the estates committee, haven't we? So I think it does come to estates and the sort of the marketing bit of estates to try to support the hub staff and the council staff to try and address these and to try and move it forward. So I think that is the mechanism. I don't want to stifle discussion, but I'm just conscious of it. We've got a lot to get through tonight, and I think probably now is not the most productive time to do it. But
Can you get a second, can you sign?
yeah, can we? Did we accept the minutes? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did.
We did, yes,
sorry,
right.
I just forgot to give them to you at the time.
Okay. Yeah, of course, because we moved on didn't we, to receive, and we're only receiving, so there's nothing to. If there's no further questions, I can move on from that then, if you're okay. Next item then is to consider a grant application from Oundle District Choral Society. I did get the chance to have a quick look. We have clearly given them £500 a year for nearly every year in recent years. I'm assuming that there's no reason why we would feel that we wouldn't wish to do that again this year.
No,
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah. So in that case, we can approve this, can't we? So the proposal is that we do award the grant for £500 to Oundle District Choral Society. Can I have someone to propose that? Councillor Robinson to second it. I'll second it if you like.
Abstain.
Yeah, no, I realise that. Yes. Yeah, so I'll second it. And those in favour? There's 3 in favour, yes, and 1 abstention, yeah. Next one is the grant application from Oundle Amateur Theatrical Society. We've seldom given them money, I noted, in the past, and if you read their application, it's basically due because they've lost the support of the Talbot Hotel, which is a bit unfortunate. I felt when I read through their application, and given that where they are, that it wasn't an inappropriate thing for us to support, but I'm obviously happy to listen to any other views.
I think we should encourage them.
I think it's I don't know whether it needs a bit of a conversation with them about the future as to whether because they haven't in the past very often asked us for money. Is it something that they feel they might not want to do again, and maybe we need to consider that going forward? I mean, I think the request is only for a one-off grant, so sounds like we're willing to support that. But I don't know whether we should be writing back to them and saying, how do you see things going in the future? And
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I'm not suggesting. No, maybe we shouldn't. Then. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we are every year.
I'm not inviting an application every year, but I suppose what I was trying to say was it would be
Get some inkling.
it would be nice if they could continue to be able to be supported by local businesses if that's what's
I know
happened
that
in the
they
past.
didn't have a
Didn't do one last year.
show last year.
I think they don't think they have done one every year. But anyway, sorry, probably should have stuck to the topic, which is just the grant application. Which, if I got someone willing to propose that, Councillor Stagg, Councillor Robinson seconded. Those in favour? Yeah. So we're all happy to do that. Sorry?
1,000.
Was it?
I think that's
I thought it was five.
Yeah.
They asked for it.
yeah.
How did they? Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. 1,000. Okay. So next item is to receive the internal audit report. Sorry, the interim internal audit report, which is a very short document, basically,
Yes,
isn't it? It's just saying that they found no issues, and the full report will be delivered later in the year.
Yeah.
So we're just receiving that. So if there's no questions or comments. Next item is to receive an update on Section 106 funds available.
I did send
You
you rather
did.
a lot of stuff
You did.
just to try and explain, and maybe some of the councillors that have been councillors for a while on that way may remember the 132,000 that we have sitting in our account at the moment. At some point was going to go towards to the cycle track that was part of the neighbourhood plan. However, having had a conversation with the Eastern Plants, they have said that although we have said that, it doesn't necessarily say that in the actual Section 106 agreement. And when it comes to September 2020, we've got to show evidence that it's actually committed and that we've spent the full amount. And if we haven't got that evidence, then we've got to give it back to our school business company with interest. So I'm just not sure whether by then we will be in a position with the neighbourhood plan to be able to use that money as part of the cycle track, and if we aren't, because it's within the Section 106 agreement. Did I send everybody a copy
You did.
of that?
You did. Yeah, you did.
It does say that it can be spent on youth and adult outdoor recreational activities, so it could potentially be an amount of money to spend on the skate park.
And indeed, Snipe Meadow.
Well, I think we've got...
I mean, we really
ought
ought to crack on and get some plans to
Well,
use
we
that
have
money.
got some... we've got currently Eastern Plants hold 40-odd thousand that would go towards the boardwalk.
Yeah.
So some, you know, I don't really know how much a skate park would be, but
It won't be 132,000, will it?
I think it could be 100,000 though. Yeah.
And if you remember, when we were talking about this before, there was some talk about speaking to the youth of Angle.
Well, I am doing
In fact,
that at
they
the
wanted a
moment.
skate park or
I've got a group called Groundwork. They go into Prince William School once a week, and she's going to speak to them about what sort of thing they would like within that area, and she's going to produce a report and feedback to me. I'm also meeting her next week to go to a few skate parks in Corby and the indoor one as well, just to go and have a look and see what sorts of things are out about. But
Again, it's probably not something we can sort of move forward too much this evening, but I think we're absolutely right to highlight the fact that we do need to.
I know that there were councillors that said that, and I've tried looking through minutes to see if there is somewhere where we approved that this was going to be part of the neighbourhood plan, but I couldn't find anything,
But, I mean,
other than the working
But
party.
it doesn't really matter because, I mean, the timescales don't fit, do they?
Yeah.
There's no way that in 18 months' time we're going to have
No.
developers signed up to deliver.
And there's no point in us doing a
cycleways
small
and-
piece of cycle track.
No.
for
So we need
£132,000.
to find an effective way of using that £130,000, and whether that be a skate park or some other
Or joint, yeah.
some other.
So I can go back and ask if we can now
Yeah.
say, can we use it for other things,
Yeah.
outdoor activities?
Like field with it.
Well, we've got money, other Section 106 money that we've...
So we've got, if there's another 132 there.
should this go to estates to come back to council with some ideas?
Well, yeah. I mean, we obviously need to get some firm proposals.
We've
Let's get some firm proposals.
Spend it by that
Yeah.
time, haven't we?
Well, very similar to that other money that is for cycle.
Yeah.
racks.
So we really,
Yeah.
in 6 months' time, we really need to have a good firm plan
Yeah.
with, costed and quotes available, so that we can place an order and can demonstrate it's committed and get halfway to delivering it as well before the end of before the middle of 2020. Okay. Received a letter from Goldsmiths regarding rent review for Unit 7. So fairly hefty review in percentage terms, but not that much, I suppose, in pounds. And it's a while since we've had an increase, I think was the point made, wasn't it?
It went up by £5 last time.
So when was the last time it went up?
I think it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's the insurance, isn't it? And then they've just decided to do a review as well.
not reviewed since the time of occupation. It's been there more than 3 years.
Yeah, they put an increase on for the insurance, but as far as I'm aware, this is the first increase on rent.
So it's I mean, the other things, the insurance and the various other things, I guess, you know, it's relatively easy to understand.
How much notice do we have to give on this place, then, do you know?
A month.
That's good.
And if we sign this new tenancy agreement, that won't then kick off a new 12-month or
No,
months,
no.
so it'll still be a month's notice.
Well, obviously, if they send a new agreement and it's changed, then
Yeah.
you can go back and say.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it's just increasing rent. I think that's written into the agreement anyway, that they can review the rent.
I mean, yeah, I mean the main item is the rent review, isn't it, from 500 to 575, which is what, 12.5% or something, which is quite a chunk, but it hasn't gone up for 3 or 4 years, I guess. Right, could we go back to them and just ask them to reconsider whether that's not an excessive increase, given, you know, the
Can you please give me your thoughts on this matter? Well, my thoughts are, I don't want it.
well, I wondered that. I wondered what they'd say if you went back and said, no, we don't want it. They might say, right, you're out then. Here's
I
your month's
think
notice.
You'll put it nicer than that.
could we ask the clerk or the finance officer
If there's any
to go and see if
movement.
there's any wiggle room,
Yeah,
and
if there's any
then
movement.
we will reluctantly agree to a small increase if not. So quotes for grass cutting. We were either getting a bargain from the ENC or
Well, no, ENC suddenly,
yeah, we were. I said not now.
yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if the company that they use hadn't put their rates up for a considerable time.
Yeah.
So, of course, when it came, and obviously you could see it was, it was a lot higher, I did go out and get some of the quotes just to compare.
Just briefly, what area does this cover? So
It covers all of, within the 30 mile an hour limit within Oundle,
yeah,
it covers all of the highway verges. So, like along Blackthorn Road,
yeah,
lots of little pockets of grass around the town, a little bit of grass that's going out, is it Warren Plate near the cemetery, there's grass there, out on the on Mill Road, out to 30 mile an hour limit, so quite a big area.
and we've had 2 quotes in addition to the ENC one. Yeah, I mean
ENC add on
21%.
costs onto
Yeah,
that.
you said 21%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I think in other councils that I've worked with, when you do this, because we get money from highways for doing this, it's not very much, is it? It's only about,
£1,842.
Yeah.
Mm.
but that will stop, I assume, at some point. And also our contract with East Northants will be no longer next year. So, and I think this way you have more control because you're dealing directly with the contractor. And so if you feel that they haven't been or what's happening, you can at least ring them straight away and say what's going on.
Have we thought about bringing this in-house?
We would need to purchase a lot more equipment and another person to do this.
But it's not, it won't qualify a full-time person for it, but
It would in the summer. It would in those months.
yeah.
The
We looked at this some time ago, I don't think formally, but our view was to do it, but to put our services out to other places.
Right,
We
yeah.
become a
Yeah.
contractor,
To make it worth your while,
To make
having the
it worth-
equipment and everything.
cost effective, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only way with doing it this way is you don't have to worry about the equipment. You don't have to worry about, you know, if that
Leasing
member
equipment.
starts off sick for a
Yeah.
long period of time.
Yeah.
You know, they
Insurance,
they
all
can.
that.
I mean, it strikes me that, you know, we've got 3 quotes. The cheapest is significantly less than ENC.
He's very good.
Mowerman,
He does.
the Mowerman is very good,
He does
apparently.
about 8 other councils
Okay.
and has been doing for a considerable time.
Yeah.
I've used him for stuff as well.
I think in the interim, at least, we would need to do that, whatever. Even if we decided that even if
Yeah.
we want to look into buying a machine and getting some of that, we're not going to do that before the grass needs cutting next month. So I
Because
was,
I think we will start next month.
yeah, I would
So
suggest.
did you say the barman, you know?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah. Well, I know the other company as well that have quoted out part really, but yeah, he does a lot of council work and gets repeat business recommended to me by Thrapston as well.
Okay.
And he's also quoting for Blackthorn because they're in a similar position. Anybody who had their contract to regional plants have just
It's in the same boat. Yeah, so I'm happy to propose that we put that forward to full council for approval. Councillor Staggs a second, and we're all in favour of that. Okay.
On the section 106, can you use that money? Is that something you were thinking about for the...
yeah, that was the 11,700 is for maintenance of
Oh yeah.
what does it say? Maintenance.
Yeah. And you suggested putting forward.
Yeah, so
For a
I think
quarter
we've got
each
quite
year.
a few years, but if every year we put 2,000
Yeah,
in, then that can go
Yeah.
towards that.
you're quite right. I did mention. I didn't mean to bring that up actually when we were talking about that. So you were proposing that the 11,700 for maintenance of public open spaces needs to be spent by January 24. So we've got basically 5 years. So we could put 2,500,
Yes,
2,200,
yeah.
2,200 per year for the next 5 years. So that would
Which would ease the
cover
pressure on that.
cover most of the shortfall from that, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Photocopier then. Update on the photocopier.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should just stay as we are for now.
Right.
We've only got about another 16 months left on the contract.
Yeah.
I had our current contractor come in. He gave us another 5-year contract. So, and it was about £10 a month cheaper or something. And I just thought, rather than locking us in now into another 5 years, we just let this one run until we then really want to go out and look for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just leave it as it is.
That sounds like a good plan. Yeah. Right. Now I'm going to be honest. There's the last 4 items on this agenda, quite meaty documents, and I haven't had a chance to read them all through with everything else we've been doing. So, sorry, Paul.
There is a bit of time.
Weak, I know.
There is next month as well.
Right. So let's do them one at a time. So we've got financial regulations. Can anyone summarise what the changes are?
Haven't we just shot past one?
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. So we have. Yeah. So we have. Sorry.
That's the easy one.
Sorry. Yeah. Let's do the easy one. Sorry. Okay. So Emma or Paul, can you just summarise
Paul,
what?
do you want to? While I just sort the policies out, do you want to do this one?
We're all moving well on our way to internet banking. However, one minor thing is at the moment we have myself, Jerry, Emma for signatories, and by all accounts it makes it significantly easier if we have exactly the same signatures on Barclays as we do on NatWest. And that way it would mean either having everybody given access to Barclays at the moment, which seems to be more complex, or just remove the people from NatWest and add myself to NatWest. And then once that's done, everything gets transferred over, and then we add back signatures. It means that all the direct debits, standing orders, the natural transfer of funds from NatWest to Barclays is done seamlessly. If you believe what the lady from Barclays says. And to be fair, she was very good, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, yeah. Have you had anything in the post?
Yes, I have. I've had a card.
So have I, and a PIN number.
And a PIN number. Yeah.
I've locked it in my drawer now.
The only thing I wasn't
Came to
sure
my
was
house.
I've opened up one for QBH, OTC, and the Squash Club, but I don't know which one it's for.
Ah.
Have you had
But
one?
I will know.
I've had one card, and one PIN number.
Yeah, that's all I.
But again, I don't know if it's QVH or...
Oh, no, I don't
I don't
either.
know whether it means that allows you to access Barclays account and then you decide which one you're going to do with. But
Mm.
you will get something through the post as well. And when you get the items through the post, that will tell you how you can use it.
Mm.
There isn't any money in the account yet, so
No.
don't try and...
No.
No, don't try and
and...
go on holiday.
One of the first things we'll be doing is transferring funds from Scottish Widows into the account, and that way we can start the ball rolling.
So just to be clear though, I mean, if what you're suggesting then would be that the current signatories on the NatWest account,
Now, at the moment, there's 3 signatures on the Barclays account.
yes,
Yeah.
but the current signatories on the NatWest account are half a dozen councillors and Emma
Excluding me.
and you. And the,
No, I'm not on that.
No, sorry, I didn't know that's what I said, I've tried to say. Yeah, so what you do is want to add yourself onto NatWest,
Yes.
but you would also want to take off all of the councillors except for me,
Yes.
and that's just...
And me, just
and,
temporarily.
and you,
This is just to set it up. Once it's set up, add as many councillors as you want.
right. And that would mean for a short period of time, if we need 3 signatories on anything, it would have to be you, me and Emma.
At the moment, yes, we do still have NatWest. We have everything still running in NatWest.
Yeah. So there would be a period of time when it would just be the 3 of us who were the signatories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we would then do is we'd do this transfer to the Barclays account.
Yeah, we transfer the Scottish Widows money in, which is about 190,000. That should see us through for quite a while.
And then at this point, are we then going to add councillors back onto NatWest and onto Barclays?
Yeah, and then once that's in place.
Okay.
Because she basically said it's, well, not impossible, but it's, you can't do it if the signatories aren't matched.
Right.
That NatWest won't automatically forward the direct debits
No.
if the
And I think it's probably
signatures
something
aren't.
to do with who signed the direct debits when they went through, because it could have been anyone who was there.
Would it be more sensible to add Councillor Chappell to Barclays and
Yeah.
only remove the others? So at least then we've got 4 signatories on both accounts, because I'm a bit concerned that if I'm not around or you're not around, we can't sign cheques.
Well, the theory would be once we're set up, then we can just do it online.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
realise that, yeah, but
So I can do that at home, or you can do that at
Yeah.
home.
And the card that you've been given,
yes,
you may need to bring that in.
right.
Yeah. Because I don't think our financial regulations do
Okay.
not allow you to have a card. But is that the card? Surely we're going to get. Is that the card
It's
that's
not
going to
a
go in the little thing?
It's not a debit card, it's
not,
it's
it
an
is
it's an ID card, that's all it is.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
Well, I think
Well,
those should go into the safe anyway, so I'll keep mine here.
well, mine will go into the safe. Yeah, I should have to keep mine on my person.
No.
So I'll have to come in here to do any authorisations required. It's not a problem, I'm just clarifying. Yeah.
I think certainly in the short term, until things are up and running.
No, I think you can keep. Well, I think the
I mean,
whole idea
the
is
whole
that
point is that you can be flexible. and
you
go
can
from
do it from
wherever you
wherever.
are.
Well, if I have to keep the card here, I'm going to have to come here and get the card.
No,
don't
well,
I?
I don't
I
think.
was thinking more for myself.
I think I might ask our internal auditor on that.
Right, okay.
Because I know that within our current financial regulations there are procedures for online banking and things like holding passwords and things like. Basically, once we've got all of these passwords, we're going to have to give them to you in a sealed envelope
Yeah.
as the mayor, and
Yeah.
you hold on to them without opening the envelope.
It's like the codes.
A bit like the nuclear
Yeah, the codes. Right.
And that sort of thing. But
Can I just sort of... so there's 3 other councillors here who haven't said anything. Are you following this? Are you comfortable with it? Do we need to take it to full council? No?
Certainly don't think we need to take it to full council.
Well, are some of the councillors who aren't here who are currently signatories going to get upset when they're suddenly told they're not
well,
signatories?
I'll have to get them to sign anyway. I'll
But
have to
as
get
I
them-
understand it, it's only a temporary issue until you've got the thing up and
Yeah.
running.
Well, yeah, but temporary could be 6 months. You know what banks are bloody like. We've been doing it
But still, it's only temporary.
We've been doing it 6 months already. So what we're suggesting is that we add Councillor Chappell onto the Barclays list.
Yeah.
Which will require Councillor Chappell to go into Barclays Bank.
Well, we've got
Can I
a
do it in my
form.
local Barclays, or do I have to do it in Elmwood?
Should, well, wherever
Do it
you-
anywhere.
That's all right, because I can't get Barclays in much. So.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, although
And
it's
then,
anything like NatWest.
and then we're going to remove any other signatories
Yeah.
from the NatWest account.
But add Paul as well.
But add Paul as well. Right, are we voting on this? Or do we need to vote on this?
No, it's just,
It's just, we just record it, that's what we're doing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to get on with that as soon as we can to get the, okay.
Somebody tell me Barclays was chosen. Yeah.
Hope not.
The always run the risk that that's partially why we're doing it, so that we won't require a local branch to make everything online.
It's a statement very similar to I'm dying, but it just depends when you're talking about. Of course, it's going to close at some point. You don't know when, though, do you?
well, when we're up and running online, it won't be such a problem. But
No, it
we'll
shouldn't
still be
be.
using the post office to pay money.
Okay. So,
We'll get the forms and
yeah,
get them sent.
yeah. I think just having 3 would be not sensible.
Okay.
If we only need one of us to be unavailable, and suddenly we grind to a halt, don't we? Right. I can go on now, can't I, to the financial regulations. So I saw it ran to 18 sections and had a quick flick through, but
As it stands, I've only, sorry,
go on.
butting in, I've only changed 2 things. I've had the finance officer in red.
I did spot the red finance officers.
And that's all I've changed since last year.
Right.
Because having read the online part, it just about, because we're not fully set up yet
Yeah.
with our procedures, it covers it for now, but until we actually fully know.
I seem to remember we spent quite a bit of time sorting these out, not that long
About last
ago.
year.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything. I mean, I've just literally been thumbing my way through them, just see if anything leapt out at me. Nothing has. So
Well, if the only amendments are those 2 red finance officers, shouldn't be too contentious, should it, really?
well, certainly they're not. It's a question really of whether there are any other changes that should be made that we
Well, you
haven't picked up on. But
No, at the moment I can't.
absent
see
advice from either the clerk or the
Yeah.
financial
And this is a model document.
officer that we need to make a change, then let's just leave it as it is, subject to those alterations.
Okay. So are we happy to propose that then? Yeah, and seconded, yeah, and yeah, okay, so that one, that one was quick and easy, okay, fine.
Guess whose name
Well, that was done. Right, the next one is the internal control policy. So, again, talk us through this, someone.
This is, sorry, I'm just writing. Our policy for our sort of general procedures that then, they're sort of classed as appendices, are the financial risk assessment and then the further internal control review. Again, there's not a huge, I think I've read through.
Well, I think the document you sent was adopted on the 17th of April 2018 for the internal controls. So we obviously, less than a year ago, we did adopt this.
Yeah, I've got one little addition in the financial assessment, point 1, 2,
Okay, that's
4, 5, 6. It's got the clerk will be the responsible financial officer and along with the financial officer is what I think should go in there, will administer the accounts in the proper manner, ensuring correct records and internal and external audits are completed. Because obviously it's in conjunction with Paul that this is done, it's not just me. And the second point, it had got, the old document had got that it was the head of finance and the deputy head of finance that came in and checked did our
Right.
sort of internal control, but it actually isn't. We now have 2
compliance.
verification
Yeah,
councillors
councillors,
that come in. So I've changed that.
Okay.
And out of this document, that's all I've changed.
So the one you've sent us though is the previous version,
It's the amended one, isn't it?
which says
Because it doesn't have the bit about the finance officer.
Oh, right, no, yeah. It has the other one, but
it does
then,
have the other bit.
yeah, the bit
Verification
above.
councillors.
Does this have to be reviewed every year?
They should be, really. Just as even if you just say, yeah, it's fine, let's move on.
So maybe worth checking it again in another 6 months' time when it's the first
Once the
time it
internet banking is up and running.
says councillors will never sign blank cheques.
Yeah.
Which
But I think we'll always leave that in, but what we will add in is our procedures for the internet banking, because there may be, you know, a time, we will still have checkbooks, so there may be a time when we do write a cheque out, and obviously you don't want any councillors just sign a blank cheque.
No.
So basically, what we're saying is that these documents have been very slightly revised to reflect things that happened in the last 12 months.
Yeah, or anything that I think is not new. So I don't know what you feel about the internal control policy.
When you've put your name in there, or RFO, do we want anything about the deputy clerk?
At the moment, it tends to be me and Paul.
So what if you're not here, the deputy's deputising?
That might happen for the case of a meeting. I'm not saying that the deputy clerk won't ever be involved in any financial workings, but it tends to be me and Paul that it would mean that either two of us would have to be away for a considerable amount of time, I think.
We're not
But if that were the case, then we could bring it to council and make some amendments, presumably.
Or you appoint the deputy clerk as acting clerk, or someone as acting finance officer.
Yeah.
For that time.
The deputy has the same in the clerk's absence, and that's what's in our standing orders.
Okay.
Actually, it's probably not in our standing orders, which will need to go. In the clerk's absence, the deputy
So
then
the fact
takes
that
over.
she's there
So in
when
effect,
you're not
yeah,
here.
that's
Okay.
So, what do people feel? Have we had enough? Have we had enough chance to have a look at this, understand it, or are you happy to?
Just one question on it.
Yeah.
It says the council will not hold petty cash. How do we cope with the hub?
they have petty cash.
And they're not the council.
But we
It's covered under the financial regulations because it specifically exempts the hub.
Does it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. All right.
But
And
whether
there's a
this,
process in there about what to do with option money, isn't there?
Yeah, we have the hubs money is mentioned in our risk assessments, because obviously there is a
No, it's
risk
fine.
of having that, but the actual council doesn't have any. We don't run a petty cash
No.
for the council.
I'm happy.
Are we? I mean,
I mean, whether
not
you
trying
want
to
to add the words save as provided for in the financial regulations, because there is a bit in the financial regulations which specifically covers the issue around the hub's petty cash use.
Yeah.
I can't find it at the minute.
It's the third bullet point down.
Right. Sorry, what did you say?
Save as provided for in the council's financial regulations.
So I mean, what I can do is I can add these other bits in, and then we can just bring it back to the next finance meeting. And by then we might have to add a whole load of other bits and bobs. which we
Sure,
don't-
but the more often you bring these things back, the more you
The more you
change.
change.
Yes, well, that is that. Yes.
You can always spot something every
So if
time
I
you
add
go.
those two, if I add that bit in, and then in the other point, the clerk will be the responsible financial officer, and along with the finance officer administer the accounts. Add that in.
Can I prepare? I'm not trying to sort of stifle a chance to have a look at it. And as I said earlier on, there's been a lot going on in the last few weeks. But given that these are all relatively new documents, and that we've had the advice from the clerk that she's been through and added those changes, why don't we accept them, that we've reviewed them and accept them for now, and then if we feel the need, we'll bring them back earlier than another 12 months' time. So,
Yeah.
so once we've got the internet banking up and running, if we feel like we need to
Review it,
revisit
yeah.
again, we'll look at it again when maybe things will be a bit quieter.
Yeah.
Will that ever be the case? Okay. So we're not making any
Well, yeah, it's
voting.
been reviewed, and there's a couple of additions being added.
So do we need?
Yeah, you can just do a proposal.
The
that
proposal.
they, yeah.
So the proposal is that we accept the documents with the minor revisions just discussed.
Yeah.
And if someone would like to propose that, Councillor Chappell. Councillor Robinson, seconded, and then, yeah, we'll say that's done. Very good. Last item then, is there any other business for report only?
Oh, you have got your two of the risky.
Oh, sorry, I thought we did it all as one.
Do these last two documents.
I'm sorry, I thought you did them all as one. I thought we were doing total control,
Well,
and then you went
they-
on to the other two, but okay.
I've made no changes to the council's risk assessment. The only thing I will say is, obviously, once we do have internet banking, we will have a different process to ours. And it, at the moment, doesn't cover that, so I don't know whether you want to defer that until we have.
But why not accept it for now? And
Yeah, I mean,
the
it
fact that we
is-
need to review it when the online banking is in place. I mean, this document was
Again-
drafted less than a year ago,
Yeah.
so I think we should just say we've reviewed it, but we
And that's it.
recognise the reason to review it within the year.
I thought we were sort of covering those all as one go, but that's just why I jumped across
Oh,
the three.
right.
But I was flicking between all three because they all seem to be referred to. So we're happy with internal control policy. We've just talked about the financial risk assessment.
Councillor Chapel suggested we accept it, but recognise that we may
Yeah.
need to review it.
And then the last one then is to review the effectiveness of the internal audit review document.
And this again was done less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And this is obviously when we have our internal control person come and go through everything. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Are we happy with that?
I suppose if you were just going to be really picky about it, the third one down on the first page, area for development, where it says internal auditor has changed for the 2017-18 audit. Since we've gone past the 17-18 audit, perhaps we should say changed for, and just take the words out
Yeah.
has, because it's just making it clear that
Yeah.
that happens, and it's happened relatively recently. And what's brilliant then is we can say that we've reviewed this document because there is a very minor change, and if the internal auditor manages to spot it, I'll be impressed.
Okay. So we'll
Happy to
We'll set
accept
that
that.
as well then, yeah. Okay. Okay. Is there any other business for reports only?
Well, there's only one business, but I noticed when I was looking at the minutes of the last meeting, which everybody's approved now, that I asked if we could have the 3-year plan on the agenda. And nobody said no, so I played that as a yes. And yet it's not.
No,
It's
it's
not
not
on
on
there.
here, because
And
that's
I'm
the
concerned
thought.
that the 3-year plan, which is in very early stages of its life, might just slip through the cracks.
I shall
Quite
make
right.
sure,
Yeah.
I shall put it on the agenda now, so that it's there for when I review the agenda next time.
Unfortunately, I won't be here.
Right,
2.5 years.
I'll still put it on. Sorry, that is my
You
mistake.
don't have to talk to it.
Do you want it on as a rolling thing each time, do you think?
Well, I think we agree with the estate that, you know, it needs to be constantly there, but not every month. You know, I think quarterly is probably a better way for it.
I'm not sure we agree that it stays, that was your view. I don't agree with it. I think it should be on the stage, and I think it should be on here. And I think as it's developed, I think it should be on full council, but anyway.
Particularly if you're trying to use section 106 funds for it, which is what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, I will put it on there. I will try and remember to put it on there.
Well, I think, to be honest, I think it probably should be on there until we feel it's a lot more developed than it currently is. So
Yeah.
maybe you can drop into a slightly less frequent update when we're a bit happier with it than we are, maybe. But if we put it on the agenda every time, at least then it doesn't get
It doesn't get
doesn't get
forgotten.
sidelined, does it? Anyone else? Okay. Oh, surprisingly
Well
early finish. I was not expecting. I did warn Claire. I thought I'd be late home tonight. There we go.